You know, the way things look, man, cats do not have as many lives as corrupt Democrat politicians. And obviously, Fani Willis, she's right at the top of that list. And I got to go through our videos and see how many we've done on Fannie. There's quite a few. But I mean, the reason, it's not that we don't like Fannie. The lady just cannot get out of her own way. And now, recusal or not, perjury or not, she has actually committed real crimes. And she should face some real consequences, because you have to remember that no one is above the law, right? And if that's true, she's got some real concerns. And I'm going to show you something that I think really does prove that she honestly has no business holding the job of top prosecutor anywhere on the planet. Because here's the thing, she's either truly corrupt and really does believe that laws and rules and ethics just don't apply to her, or she's completely incompetent and really has absolutely no clue what she's doing. Personally, I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B, but she just got caught in an interstate wiretap offense, which is actually a big deal, on Harrison Floyd's attorney. And Harrison Floyd, you may know, he's one of Trump's co-defendants, that, and the only co-defendant that Georgia kept in jail for a few days. And surprise, surprise, not saying anything, but just saying he's the only black co-defendant. And now she's got busted recording his Maryland attorney without his consent, which is actually not legal. And remember, no one is above the law.
I assume that they'll get a court hearing rather quickly on this. Let me turn now to Fani Willis. She has a new interesting problem. I say interesting very lightly. She taped someone, and apparently people are saying it was illegal what she did. Tell me what she did, or is accused of, rather.
Yeah, accused of, correct. Harrison Floyd, who is one of the Trump defendants in the RICO case. You'll recall, Greta, that he had a legal matter up in Maryland where he was accused of assaulting, I believe it was an FBI agent. And so when Fani Willis was talking to the lawyer for Harrison Floyd, who was located in the state of Maryland, according to the report today, she recorded that phone call. Now, my understanding of Georgia law is that if you're calling someone within the state of Georgia, all you need is one party consent. But if that phone call goes outside of the state, then the more aggravating of the two laws applies. And Maryland, might require that. Yeah.
Well, Maryland does require two-party. Yeah, correct. You can't do a sneaky tape. You can't do a sneaky tape of someone in Maryland. In fact, those of us who are old enough will remember, I think it was Linda Tripp during the Clinton days. I think she was taping, got herself into quite a fix. But how did they find out that she taped anybody, and why was she taping the lawyer?
Well, those are great questions that we certainly need to find out. I mean, just think about it this way: even if it was perfectly legal, why would a grown lawyer record a phone call with another grown lawyer? I mean, that is not how professionals act. And what we continue to come back to as it relates to Fani Willis is her constant unprofessional behavior, whether it's out in public giving speeches, or whether it's her demeanor inside of the courtroom, or her judgment on who she chooses to prosecute the former president of the United States. It is all this repetitive constant drumbeat of unprofessionalism from Fani Willis. Fulton County deserves better.
And she's always the victim. And, of course, I'm still waiting for an investigation. I don't know what happened, but there ought to be an investigation whether she and Nathan Wade committed perjury. I don't know if they did, but the rest of us would get an investigation based on what those facts were. J-Town, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.
Still had deported at least.
I think that's absolutely right, man. And whatever she's done is legal or not, all roads, at least for me, they lead to the same conclusion. She's out disparaging defendants and their attorneys, acting like a crazy person, testifying in court, hiring her secret lover, keeping it all secret, wiretapping opposing counsel and colleagues. I mean, she's going to do whatever she wants to do because the woman really does not belong there. And it's not just you and me and Fulton County taxpayers that think it. Take a listen to a Democrat attorney talk about this from a perspective of someone who actually knows better.
I do want to get your take on the move right now to push Fani Willis off this case. The judge is listening to that argument. Who do you think will prevail here, judging by the judge's decision last time to say Nathan Wade had to go?
Well, I think if Fani Willis had any real interest in this case, she would resign or recuse herself from it. This is an utter embarrassment. I mean, this looks to me, in my opinion, this was a kickback scheme where she hired a boyfriend who was then providing her all kinds of benefits. I think the whole claim about the reimbursements is hard to believe. I think the claims about when the relationship began, I think those are very hard to believe. I think the judge was right to allow the Trump team to appeal. And I think there's not just a question about whether she should be kicked off the case. I think there's a question potentially about perjury moving forward that the state could take up, the legislature is going to look into. So I think there is, I mean, just the standard in Georgia is a conflict or the appearance of a conflict. And given that there is a strong appearance that Fani Willis had an economic incentive for the case to move forward, I mean, I don't know how you argue this is not an appearance of a conflict.
Julian,
in any case, this is an utter embarrassment for amongst many other embarrassments for the lawfare crowd that is, first prosecuting Trump in the 11th hour of this campaign.
Julian Epstein, thanks so much for being fair and balanced. Appreciate it. Julian Epstein,
Brian,
thanks
for having me again.
You got it.
So bye.
He's got some great points, man. And the best point he makes is if Fani Willis actually cared about the case, she would recuse herself. She'd cut ties with the case. That's absolutely right. I don't think she has that option anymore. I'm pretty sure that's sailed. But we made that point here when all this nonsense turned in from basically a case by her to a case about her. And she had the opportunity to put the case first. She had the opportunity to put saving democracy first, but that's not what this is about. This was never about saving democracy. This has only been about making her name, about her becoming like the greatest and most legendary Democrat dragon slayer in history. This case is about her, and that's it. And, he also says it's real hard to believe what she says. I think that's pretty charitably put. But he also said that whatever's going on, it's an utter embarrassment. And he's right. This guy isn't some nobody. He's got actual Democrat credentials, law credentials too. He served as lead counsel of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He was chief of staff of the House Government Reform Committee. And probably, if you're a Democrat, his most impressive feat, if you can call it that, was he was the chief counsel successfully defending Bill Clinton during his own impeachment. So the guy knows his stuff. And you have to give credit where credit is due. And Fannie, I have a feeling that she'll be giving her credit pretty soon, but that's just my take, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, be a part of our growth. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. I'll see you in the next one.